It's Saturday night, 1962. You're 19, and you've spent the afternoon getting ready, hair carefully styled, shoes polished to a shine, dress pressed to perfection. The evening air carries the sound of music as you approach the Starlight Ballroom downtown, its neon sign casting pink and blue patterns on the sidewalk. Through the tall windows, you can see couples moving across the polished wooden floor in perfect harmony, the 12-piece orchestra on stage filling the room with the smooth sounds of a foxtrot. This was the dance hall. For over a century, from the 1850s through the early 1980s, it was where America came to move, to meet, and to fall in love. It was democracy on the dance floor. Anyone who could afford the small admission price could join in, learn the steps and become part of something larger than themselves. It was where musical styles were born, where fashion trends began, and where entire generations learned the subtle art of social interaction. The golden age of dance halls began in the post-war boom of the 1940s and flourished through the 1960s. After years of separation and uncertainty, Americans were hungry for celebration, connection, and the simple pleasure of moving to music with someone special. Dance halls provided all three in abundance. They were more than entertainment venues, they were cultural institutions that taught etiquette, fostered romance and created communities around the shared language of music and movement. The architecture of dance halls was designed for magic. High ceilings created perfect acoustics for live orchestras. Polished hardwood floors, often made of maple, provided the ideal surface for everything from waltzes to swing dancing. Elaborate chandeliers cast romantic light across the room, while mirrored walls reflected the movement of dancers and made even modest venues feel grand. The bandstand was positioned to be seen from everywhere in the room, ensuring that the music surrounded and united everyone present. The music was everything. Live orchestras, often featuring 10 to 15 musicians, provided the soundtrack for romance. Big band leaders like Glenn Miller, Tommy Dorsey, and Count Basie had shaped the sound of the swing era, but by the 1950s, dance halls were adapting to new styles. The social dynamics of dance halls were complex and carefully structured. There were unwritten rules about asking for dances, cutting in, and proper floor etiquette. Young men learned courage by approaching potential partners across a crowded room. Young women learned grace, both in accepting invitations and in declining them politely. The phrase, "May I have this dance?" carried weight and meaning that extended far beyond the 3 minutes of music that followed. Different venues catered to different communities and social classes. Elegant hotel ballrooms attracted the well-dressed middle class. Neighborhood dance halls served working-class families with affordable admission. Ethnic communities maintained their own venues where traditional folk dances mixed with American popular styles. The fashion surrounding dance hall culture was as important as the dancing itself. Saturday night meant dressing up, men in their best suits, women in dresses that moved beautifully on the dance floor. The ritual of getting ready was part of the evening's entertainment. Dance instruction was a thriving industry built around the dance hall culture. Arthur Murray Studios, Fred Astaire dance schools, and independent instructors taught millions of Americans how to move with confidence and style. Learning to dance was considered an essential social skill, as important as knowing proper table manners or how to make polite conversation. Couples took lessons together as a form of courtship, and parents sent their children to dance classes as preparation for adult social life. The role of the dance hall in courtship was profound. In an era before casual dating and social media, the dance hall provided a structured environment where young people could meet, interact, and get to know each other. The physical intimacy of partner dancing allowed for connection while maintaining social propriety. Many relationships that began on the dance floor led to marriage, making dance halls the matchmakers of their communities. Regional styles and preferences created distinct dance hall cultures across the country. The Southwest embraced country swing and Western dancing. The Northeast maintained ballroom traditions. The Deep South developed its own interpretations of rhythm and blues dancing. California innovated with new forms that would influence rock and roll movement. The economics of dance halls required careful management. Admission fees provided the foundation, but successful venues also sold refreshments and operated restaurants. The cost of maintaining a live orchestra was significant, but recorded music couldn't provide the energy that made live dancing special. Competition. Dance culture grew alongside social dancing, with couples competing in contests that showcased technical skill and artistic interpretation. These competitions drew spectators as well as participants and helped establish standards for proper technique. Professional dancers and instructors often emerged from these competitions, creating a pipeline of expertise that sustained the dance hall culture for decades. The decline began gradually in the mid-1960s, but accelerated rapidly through the 1970s. Several cultural and technological factors converged to undermine the traditional dance hall model. The rise of youth culture created a generation gap that affected musical tastes and social customs. Young people increasingly rejected the formal structure and elaborate etiquette that characterized traditional dance halls in favor of more casual, spontaneous forms of entertainment. Rock and roll fundamentally changed how people related to music and dancing. The new style emphasized individual expression over partner coordination, loud amplified sound over acoustic orchestras, and rebellious energy over social polish. Dance halls that had thrived on the precision and partnership of ballroom dancing struggled to adapt to music that celebrated freedom from formal constraints. The sexual revolution altered courtship patterns in ways that reduced the importance of formal social venues. Young people gained more freedom in their personal relationships and less need for the structured interaction that dance halls provided. Casual dating, college social life, and changing attitudes about physical intimacy made the elaborate rituals of dance hall courtship seem outdated and unnecessary. Television provided home entertainment that competed directly with dance halls. Popular variety shows featured professional dancers and musical performances that people could enjoy without leaving their homes. Dance programs like American Bandstand brought the latest musical styles directly into living rooms, reducing the exclusive role that dance halls had played. Suburban sprawl moved populations away from downtown areas where most dance halls were located. The new suburban lifestyle centered around homes, cars, and shopping centers rather than public gathering places. Young people now lived in communities where such venues were either absent or required long drives to reach. The drug culture that emerged in the late 1960s and 1970s changed how young people sought transcendence and connection. While dance halls had provided natural highs through music, movement, and social interaction, some young people turned to chemical alternatives that made traditional entertainment seem tame by comparison. The clean, wholesome image of dance halls became associated with older generations and mainstream values that countercultural movements rejected. Discotheques represented a fundamental shift in dance venue culture. These new venues emphasized recorded music over live orchestras, individual dancing over partner work, and sensory overload over social interaction. The DJ replaced the bandleader, and conversation became nearly impossible over amplified sound systems. While disco clubs attracted large crowds, they offered a completely different social experience than traditional dance halls. Economic pressures made it difficult for traditional dance halls to survive. The cost of maintaining live orchestras increased while competition from other entertainment reduced attendance. Many venues found they couldn't afford the musicians, rent, and maintenance required to sustain operations. The loss of dance education in schools and communities created a generation that lacked the skills necessary to enjoy traditional partner dancing. As formal dance instruction became less common, fewer young people possessed the confidence to participate in social dancing that had sustained dance hall culture. By 1980, most traditional dance halls had closed or been converted to other uses. The few that survived often specialized in specific communities. Seniors who remembered the golden age or ballroom dance enthusiasts. The casual Saturday night dancer, the young couple on their first date, they had all found other forms of entertainment. What disappeared with the dance halls was more than just a form of entertainment, it was an entire approach to social interaction and community building. Dance halls had taught patience, cooperation, and grace under pressure. They had provided safe spaces for young people to learn about romance and relationship. They had created intergenerational connections as parents and children shared the same dance floors and musical traditions. The physical skills lost with dance hall culture were significant. Partner dancing required coordination, timing, and the ability to communicate through touch and movement. These skills developed balance, rhythm, and spatial awareness that benefited participants far beyond the dance floor. The discipline required to master complex dance forms also taught persistence and attention to detail that transferred to other areas of life. The social rituals surrounding dance halls had created structured opportunities for people to meet and form relationships across class and ethnic boundaries. While these interactions were governed by strict etiquette, they were also genuinely inclusive in ways that modern entertainment often isn't. The dance floor was one of the few places where social status mattered less than skill and courtesy. Modern attempts to recreate dance hall culture through ballroom dance studios and swing dance revival groups have captured some elements but lack the cultural centrality that made traditional dance halls significant. These contemporary versions serve specific interest groups rather than entire communities. The musical education that dance halls provided was also unique. Patrons learned to recognize different musical styles, to appreciate live performance, and to understand rhythm and tempo through physical movement. This musical literacy enriched cultural life in ways that passive music consumption cannot replicate. If you remember the magic of a crowded dance floor on Saturday night, the nervousness of asking someone to dance, or the satisfaction of moving in perfect harmony with a partner and an orchestra, you remember a time when entertainment required participation, when social skills mattered, and when music was something you experienced with your whole body and heart. Where was your dance hall? Do you remember your first dance, the band that played your favorite song, or the dress you wore to feel special? Those memories matter because they represent a time when community was built through shared movement, when romance followed careful steps, and when Saturday night meant something magical was about to happen on the dance floor.